Hello everyone, this is part 10 of What If Naruto Has the Golden Eyes, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. You know the plan, Obi-Wan, Naruto said as the door opened to reveal Anakin and Ahsoka. Of course, Obi-Wan said with a smile. The two Jedi looked at Obi-Wan in confusion. What plan? Ahsoka asked. None of your concern, young one, Obi-Wan said while rubbing the top of her head. Obi-Wan, if you would please, Naruto said as he motioned for him to follow him. Oh, of course. Please report back to the ship. I will be there in a bit, Obi-Wan commanded before turning and following Naruto down the hall in the opposite direction. Where do we go? Ahsoka shouted while the two rounded the corner. The same way you came in. Obi-Wan shouted. What does he mean? Ahsoka asked before someone tapped her and Anakin on the shoulder. The two turned around. Oh Anakin said before the end of a rifle was then smashed into their faces. XXXXX. When are the preparations going to be ready? Dooku asked one of the tactician droids in the room. We have about 1 week until we are ready to attack the planet, the droid responded. Perfect. Are the blueprints to the natives' movements programmed into the commando droids? Dooku asked. Yes sir. We will be attacking with them since these people's skills rely on speed and the only droids fast enough to be programmed to match their speed would be commando droids, the droid said. As to be expected. Anything else I should know? Dooku asked. Not as of now, the droid replied. Then you are dismissed, Dooku commanded as the droid left the room. XXXXX 5 days later. Are the bombing plans ready? Naruto asked a sound general that was in his office. The mansion that was Sound's Otokage Tower was completely destroyed. After Naruto's death, the Sound ninja that remained kept fighting until the allies killed them all. These days of combat were soon tried to be forgotten, but everyone knew and the common people frowned upon the ninja that day. The battle that followed Naruto's death was known as the Battle of the Bloody Tears. XXXXX flashback. Cheers could be heard from the courtyard of the tower as the allies cheered out in victory over the death of the leader of Sound. The Sound side was shocked. How could the godlike leader die so suddenly? The two sides then looked at each other, one with a victorious grin and the other with tears in their eyes. The first line of men raised their hands in defeat, but was shocked when the allied side didn't put down their weapons. Let's finish the job, one ninja said with a bloodthirsty grin. Yeah, let's finish the job and wipe this scum off the face of the planet, another said as the allied side then charged the Sound ninja. The Sound ninja were shocked. The allies won, why are they still attacking? The Sound ninja put down their hands and began to defend themselves. The line that was drawn at the middle of the courtyard was then fully back into combat as the allies wanted to kill the remaining regime that was Naruto. This is insane. One Sound ninja shouted as he blocked another swipe to his throat and pushed a Leaf ninja off of him. Why are we still fighting? Another cried out as he stood across from a random Sand ninja. Because scum like you deserve to die before you bring back the evil that was Naruto, the Sand ninja replied and charged at the Sound ninja. Slowly, the line was being pushed back towards the tower as the Sound ninja were falling back completely. The two sides fought other what seemed like fortifications for gunners, but when they saw the massive battle in the middle turn into a hand-to-hand battle they were quickly abandoned and replaced inside the massive mansion. XXXXX. Why we still fighting? Naruto is dead, Lee shouted as he looked over the edge of the mansion to see fighting once again ensuing the courtyard. Well, whatever the reason, we got to get down there and help. Kiba yelled. But Naruto is dead, Sakura said. But they aren't. Now let's get to fighting. Kiba shouted as he jumped over the edge and into the fight. Everyone shook their heads and jumped over the edge as well while Itachi discarded his cloak and jumped off and away from the battle. XXXXX. Damn it. What are we going to do? A random rock ninja shouted as the gunners at the top of the stairs and in the windows of the mansion poured more kunai at them. Suddenly Kiba landed next to the man and rushed behind the cover next to him. So, everyone out of explosive tags? Kiba shouted in question. Yes sir. We used them all while fighting in the courtyard. The ninja replied. Well then, lucky you, Kiba said with a grin as he pulled out a big bundle of explosive tags and stuck them to a kunai. Kiba quickly threw the kunai at the top of the stairs. Since the explosive tags were bundled up and Kiba wanted it to explode all at once, the timer for the kunai was going to last longer than a normal kunai would. The kunai stuck into the side of a sandbag with a gunner directly behind it. The gunner looked over the sandbag to see a massive bundle of explosion tags burning in front of him. Hee, that will learn him, Kiba said with a snicker, but stopped when a kunai with a half-burned bundle of explosion tags smacked the sandbags just above him. Oh hell no, Kiba shouted as he took hold of the kunai and threw it right back. Kiba saw the same gunner grab the kunai again and throw it back, but this time a massive explosion blasted in between the two sides, blowing back the sections of sandbags and the occupants. Go! Get your ass moving! This is our chance! A ninja shouted as all the allied ninja jumped over their cover and towards the gunners. The gunners never stopped firing as the allied ninja ran up the steps towards the doors of the mansion. Once the ninja almost made it to the gunners' sandbags, the gunners grabbed the guns and started to run away. Oh no you don't! Neji shouted as he was almost to the sandbags, but was cut short when Sound Ninja started to stream over the sandbags. The allied ninja quickly went into hand-to-hand as more ninja began to come out of the open doors of the Otokage Tower. The fighting ensued for at least one more hour until the sound finally couldn't withstand the numbers that made up the allies. Sakura was healing a wounded bird ninja when something caught her ear. This is the last of the reserves. Make them last. A sound commander shouted as more sound ninja ran out of the door and into the fray. The doors were soon closed and locked behind them. Fighting continued until there were only 50 sound ninja left fighting around the door to the tower. My god, this is it. We die for Naruto-sama. A sound ninja shouted with tears in their eyes as they were cut down by the allied ninja. The rookies were shocked at the brutality of the allied ninja in the face of victory. As the ninja walked over the dead bodies of the sound ninja, spat on a dead body. Serves them right, a mist ninja said with venom in his voice. Neji sighed next to his friends. What is it? Tenten asked. This battle is still going on because everyone feels that Sound should pay for all the damage that was done to their villages. This is why the fighting continues, Neji said as explosive tags were being placed onto the door of the tower. So that's why this madness is still continuing. Revenge, Sakura said. But, it doesn't matter. These ninja aren't going to stop until everything that even resembles anything that has to do with Naruto is destroyed, a familiar voice from behind them said. They turned to see the last person they thought they would see. Kakashi-sensei. Sakura shouted as she noticed that he still had his headband tied over his left eye. Yo, Kakashi said with a lazy wave. What are you doing here? Hinata asked. Well, once Itachi took out my Sharingan eye back in Konoha, soon it found me a new eye that dying man wanted to give me, Kakashi said. Oh, well then let's see it, Sakura said as the last of the explosives were placed on the door. Later, maybe when we fight on the upper stories, Kakashi said with a grin and a wry smile. Why the upper stories? Choji asked. You'll see, Kakashi said just before the door was blown open and a torrent of kunai flew out the door and into the poor ninja standing in front of it. XXXXX. The battle over Otokage Tower lasted 20 days. The sound ninja were scared of surrender and fought until the death for every room up until the last 3 floors, with the third from the top floor being completely vacant. Once a number of allied ninja were inside, honor guards sealed them inside and threw poison gas bombs into the sealed floor. All the ninja inside were killed, and once Shikamaru unsealed the seal locking them inside, they found all the ninja dead. Nevertheless, the allies pushed onward with one true goal: eliminate all of the honor guards hiding on the last 2 floors. Fighting intensified as the allies very slowly pushed the honor guards back to Otokage office. As the rookies walked up the steps and to the door, huddled around the door with several ninja behind them. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Choji shouted and enlarged his hands and smashed the door down, but quickly took a step back. Wah, what happened here? Tenten stuttered as they looked around the room. There were at least 15 dead honor guards strayed across the room with kunai stuck in their throats. Who killed them? Lee asked as they spread out through the room. Nobody killed them, Kakashi said. The others looked at him quizzingly. This was mass suicide for our only great leader, a voice said from the other side of the room. Everyone looked over to the other side of the room to see a Yoinkuchi member standing with his massive blade on his back. A Yoinkuchi member, Hinata said, surprised. I thought all of you ran away and out of the city, Kiba said in a mocking tone. Most of us did, but I will die here where my leader once led this great country. I will die and meet up with him in the heavens above, the Yoinkuchi member said as he unsheathed his sword. Fine, but it's your funeral, Kiba said as the man discarded his hat to reveal an old enemy. Nice to see you again, see-through Kakashi, Zabuza said with a smile. Nice to meet you. Wait. How did you know? Kakashi shouted. Naruto knew all and Naruto saw all, including you, Zabuza said. What does he mean, see-through Kakashi-sensei? Sakura asked. Kakashi sighed and lifted his headband to reveal the infamous Byakugan. The Byakugan. Neji and Hinata cried out at the same time. Yes, while the war was raging on, I utilized and trained with Hiashi on how to use the Dujutsu and finally learned my limits where yours is different from mine, Kakashi said. Like you can still see through objects and you can still see chakra points, but you can't see 360 degrees around you. Zabuza said. How do you know all this? Kakashi shouted. Like I said, Naruto knew and saw all, Zabuza said as 10 honor guards ran up the stairs and quickly sealing the door behind them. The 10 turned to see that there were already 20 ninja already inside. Ah, Zabuza-sama, I guess we are the last of them, our honor guard said with sadness in his voice. So it seems. If these allied butchers can't accept peace when Naruto-sama died, then we will soon meet him and our fallen brothers in heaven, Zabuza said as he charged the ninja inside the room. The honor guards soon followed suit. The only place you'll being is straight to hell for what Sound did. Kiba shouted as he blocked one of the honor guards while Kakashi blocked Zabuza. Is that so? Zabuza said as he pushed Kakashi back. Then you still need to think of what actual happened. As Naruto-sama used to say, look underneath the underneath. Kakashi soon engaged Zabuza while the rookies and other ninja engaged with the 10 honor guards. The battle that followed was bloody and grueling as the other ninja in room died along with the 10 honor guards, leaving a dying Zabuza and the rookies and Kakashi. So, you think you just won and was able to dig into our leader's secret vault, Zabuza said as he kneeled in front of the rookies and their senseis, as they arrived soon after the honor guards died, on the roof outside. The battle that ensued extended to roof soon after it began when Kiba used his signature technique and busted through the wall. We will learn of everything that Naruto did what he has invented, Neji said with a victorious grin, but that was soon wiped off his face when Zabuza began to laugh hysterically. What's so funny? Lee asked, but soon noticed the invisible wire extending into the mansion. You didn't, Lee said, the others noticing as well. I'm going to take all of the leader's hard work to the grave with me. Including all the allied ninja inside. Zabuza shouted with a crazed look in his eye. Everyone, jump off the side. Now, Kakashi shouted, but they didn't need to be told twice. As soon as the ninja were off the edge, an enormous explosion erupted throughout the mansion, starting at the bottom and slowly going up. Kakashi turned to look at Zabuza, who was still kneeling down on the ground while looking at the ninja who jumped over the edge from over his shoulder. Kakashi's eyes widened when he was smiling a true smile with a single tear falling down his face. Zabuza soon turned and looked at the door and extended his hands out to his sides and lifted his face into the air and closed his eyes and waited for the soft whips of the flames to overtake him. The Konoha ninja landed on the ground and rolled as to not break any bones. They soon bolted out of there and turned to see the mansion collapsing in around itself. So, this is it, Kakashi said. What? Guy asked. This is Naruto's last will, Kakashi said. What was it? Guy pressed. For no one to ever learn of the dark secrets that were locked inside that mansion that reeked of death and madness, Kakashi said as the others stood in a line to observe Naruto's last symbol go up in an explosion that even the heavens above and the hell underneath would be proud of. XXXXX end of flashback. You know what to do, Naruto said as the general nodded and walked out of his new office that was this time in an actual tower. Naruto turned around in his chair and looked out the window that had a great view of the entire city. I'll show the world that letting your guard down has its consequences, Naruto thought as the bombers were getting prepped to leave. XXXXX. I still can't believe he's back, Sasuke mumbled to his older brother as they sat atop their favorite Hokage head to stare into the cloudy sky that threatened to rain. They were on the Yondomi and the Third's noses. I know the feeling, Itachi replied. You still never told me about what you and Naruto did while in Akatsuki and Yonkuchi, Sasuke said. And you never will. I told you, I don't remember anything while under his occupation, Itachi said. I know, but it's so frustrating not knowing what you two did. Sasuke shouted in annoyance. So am I, Itachi replied. The two were enjoying a peaceful silence before what they thought would be a deadly war with sound. Suddenly, there was a bright flash and then several blue balls flew out of the cloudy sky and into the village, resulting in an explosion. A streaking noise was heard and a metal object streaked past the two brothers that were now standing. They could only watch as more blue balls slammed into their village's areas caught on fire. No, Sasuke mumbled as Itachi was wide-eyed. Naruto never mentioned this. Could this be? Itachi thought as he tried to spot an allegiance that these planes with his Mangekyou Sharingan, but noticed that they bore no allegiance. Sasuke was also doing the same thing. Do you think this could belong to one of the many inventions that Sasuke said? That I invented. The two brothers looked up to the top of the heads to see Naruto looking out over his old home. Naruto, did you do this? Sasuke asked in anger. Possibly, but from the looks of it, Naruto said in his emotionless tone before looking Sasuke in the eye with full force Dujutsu activated and as two more metal objects screeched past him, you need to make some weapons to stop these bombs from hitting your precious people. Sasuke growled as he glared at Naruto while Naruto only grinned back. A vicious wind blew and lightning strike erupted in the background as the rain started to fall. You know, when fought back at the front of the gate, I was only shocked. I could beat you now, Sasuke said with a smirk. Naruto shook his head and turned. Maybe one day, Naruto said before disappearing from his spot on the top of the hill. The two brothers then looked back at the village to see fire coming from several areas of the village. The bombing from the unknown object has ceased, at least for now. What are we going to do? It's your orders, Itachi said. Care to the wounded and let's rebuild the village. Then, we will do test among test to find out how we are going to beat this new threat from the skies, and, Sasuke said with determination in his voice, call the cages together. We need to talk. XXXXX Land of Iron, 1 week later. I say sound is behind all this. Yichi shouted as the others looked to him for an explanation. As did Konoha was bombed from skies, the other villages were also bombed along with other large cities scattered throughout the lands. Although the bombs didn't do much damage, they still shook the nations a bit. And why do you say that? What proof do you have? The leader of samurai forces asked to the young Kage. The 10 cages, leaf, stone, water, lightning, sand, star, rain, bird, swamp, and waterfall, were sitting in a half circle with an empty seat next to the Kazekage. Who else could invent something that would distribute destruction in such a quick amount of time? Yichi shouted. But what if it isn't? Gaara said. What do you mean? Are you siding with Naruto now? Yichi cried. Please calm yourself, Tsuchikage. Please, continue, the Iron Leader said. Thank you. What if Sound wasn't behind the attacks? It is said that Sound was also bombed that night as well, so why would they bomb themselves? Gaara asked. Mumbles could be heard throughout the room. But what if it was just one large genjutsu that Sound put over their village? They did it before when we were trying to find the city, the Mizukage suggested. That is a possibility, but are unable to rule out that it may not be Sound or Rain. They have been great allies before Naruto came back and hopefully they may change Naruto for the better, Sasuke said. And so they have, familiar voice said as he walked into the room, followed by one red-cloaked man and another Yonkuchi member. Otokage, how did you get in here? The Iron Leader asked. None of your concern. So, I see that you all were bombed as well. Naruto said as he looked over the group while the bodyguards were ready to pounce at any second. Naruto, why are you here? You were uninvited, Sasuke said with a hint of anger and confusion in his eyes. Well, this meeting was called to discuss the bombings, correct? Well, several of my cities were bombed, so I think I'm allowed to join as well, Naruto said as he took a seat next to Gaara while the two honor guards jumped to the railing where the bodyguards stood. A flag soon unraveled behind him like the others that had the symbol for Sound sketched on it. So that's why the empty seat is there, the Mizukage said. Yes, I prepared for the random occasion that the Otokage may have shown up. They are the people being blamed here, the leader for Iron said. So, they are already blaming me for what happened. As to be expected. But I plan to dash all ill intents away from me, Naruto said. And how do you plan to do that? Sasuke asked. I have already made a weapon that could possibly shoot down these fast metal objects, Naruto said. I think you're lying. How could you come up with a weapon that quick while the 5 of us are not even close to finding a weapon? Ichi said with venom. Don't underestimate us, Naruto said, making Ichi even more angry. In fact, I think we brought one with us. Really? You really brought one of these devices with you? Sasuke asked. Yes, and I'm willing to share this new technology with you if simply do one favor for me, Naruto said. And what would that be? Sasuke asked. He wants our land. I refuse to do any business with this madman. Ichi shouted. Please calm down, Ichi. If Naruto is able to help us, then let him, Sasuke said. Ichi looked at Sasuke and slowly sat back into his seat. So, let's see this new technology, Sasuke said. Please follow me, Naruto said before standing and walking out the door. Everyone else soon followed him out of the room. Once outside, they saw another metal object that was mounted to the ground. It had 4 metal barrels that was able to point into the air. What is this? Gaara asked. This, my Kazekage, is my latest invention. The anti-aircraft weapon Mark II. Otherwise known as the RR Mark II, Naruto said, visibly pleased with himself. How does it work? Sasuke asked. The weapon shoots in rotation. The top left and the bottom right before going to the top right to the bottom left. Grove's inside barrel spins the kunai, making the kunai straighter, Naruto said as his 2 honor guards sat down on 2 of the seats. They then started to shoot kunai off into the air. Blue fires soon spurt from the barrel and into the air. I have a few questions, Sasuke asked. Naruto hummed. The machines that bombed our villages moved much faster than the normal eye. How would the general ninja hit these fast-moving targets? Sasuke asked. The key is in the ammunition, Naruto said as he picked up one of the large kunai. The kunai was about the side of his forearm and had what looked to be a copper point. You see the point. It looks to be made of a different metal. Well, it is. What is it made of? On the end of this large kunai is a metal that is now in full production in sound. The metal is a highly attractive magnet that is able to be fused with chakra in order to heighten the magnet's capabilities, Naruto said. So that is why there was blue fire coming out of the weapon, Gaara said. Correct. That is why there is 2 others sitting next to the gunner. They are the loaders, as well as provide chakra to the shooter because the shooter is the only one who can detect the moving targets, Naruto explained. Why is that? Sasuke asked. Because the person is the one trained to fire the weapon more accurately. But, moving on, the chakra that is poured into the weapon is also transmitted into a chamber that changes the chakra into fire that, when released, explodes and rocketing the kunai out of the barrel. Once this kunai hits a target, the explosive notes that are sealed inside explode on contact, Naruto explained. All this seems to take a lot of chakra, Ichi said. Naruto sighed. Yes, it does. That is why you must find men or women that are going to able to provide this much chakra. Find the powerhouses of your village and train them in using this weapon, Naruto said. Are you willing to share these weapons with the rest of us? Sasuke asked, a little surprised. Yes, everyone was lighting up, if you are willing to listen to what I have to say. And that would be, Gaara asked. I know the people that attacked you. I have met them once before and they plan on taking over this world and making slaves out of all of us, Naruto said seriously. The people present were shocked. Mixed expressions were present amongst the cages and bodyguards. Before we make any decisions, let's discuss where you have been all, the Iron Leader started, but was topped when Ichi charged Naruto. Naruto only stared as Ichi took out his blade and poured chakra into it. About halfway into the charge, the other Yonkuchi soon stopped the attacker by pulling out a blue lightsaber and clashing swords with the cage. Tsuchikage, calm yourself, Gaara exclaimed. Don't you see he is bullshitting all of us? How could all of this happen? Ichi shouted. If you want to condemn your people to death then so be it. I do not work with people like you. Although I'm willing to give a second chance. Stop this aggressiveness and you may join us in the talks to come, Naruto said. Yichi only got angrier at this. You are all fools to listen to him. He is going to get you all killed. Yichi shouted before leaving with his 2 bodyguards. Naruto shook his head. And so the stubborn leader choose death instead of resisting, Naruto said as he walked past the other Yonkuchi that stopped the attack. Thank you, Obi-Wan. XXXXX. After hours of talking and the others finally knowing almost everything, they were finally able to come to an agreement. The others learned of the true meaning behind the war as well as what Naruto has learned of the enemy that bombed their cities. Naruto also explained that he has contacts that willing to help in the war to come. So it is agreed then, Naruto will be the leader of this new alliance, the Iron Leader said. Note that there is no neutrality in this war. Everyone is in it, no exceptions, Naruto said. Yes, we are also in this war as well, the Iron Leader said with a sigh. Great. I will start to distribute the RR Mark IIs immediately as well as an instructor to teach your men. Remember what areas your men must cover and reinforce. Lightning will help Star, water will help Wave, leaf will help the people in between sand and yourself as well as grass, rain will help bird, sand will try and cover as much desert as possible, sound will help swamp and waterfall. I think iron will have to cover as much land as possible in this dangerous climate. Good luck everyone, Naruto said as he stood and walked out of the room, followed by everyone else. The doors opened with Naruto in the front of the group followed by the rest of the cages and their bodyguards with the snow blowing against them. Phase 1 completed, Naruto thought with a grin. Another secret that would go to the grave with him. XXXXX. Naruto. A voice shouted as Naruto and Obi-Wan walked towards the entrance of their rooms. Naruto and Obi-Wan turned towards the source of the voice. Yes Sasuke, what do you need? Naruto asked from beneath his mask. I got a couple of questions that need answering. Can it wait until tomorrow? I'm rather tired. No, they need to be answered now. Fine, Obi-Wan, tell him what he needs to know, Naruto said as he closed the door to his room. Sasuke turned to the other Yonkuchi member. I take it you're Obi-Wan? Sasuke inquired. Glad to meet you. Let's move to a more comfortable setting. Please, follow me, Obi-Wan said as he opened the door to his room. It was smaller than the cage's rooms, but was still moderately big. It had a kitchen, bathroom, queen-size bed, and a table with 2 chairs on either side. Obi-Wan sat on one of the 2 chairs. Please, take a seat. Sasuke nodded and sat across from the Yonkuchi member. Obi-Wan then took off his hat and mask. So, what are your questions? I want to know everything. From when he left this planet until he came back. I'm sorry, but I cannot answer all of that question. And why is that? 2 reasons. 1. True that he has told me a lot about himself, I still don't know everything about him. 2nd, some things he has restricted me from saying. Then what can you tell me? I can tell some of the things that he was famed in doing as a bounty hunter. Naruto was a bounty hunter. Indeed he was. Damn good one too. What kind of missions did he do? Too many for the separatists I'm afraid. Is there a war going on outside this planet? Obi-Wan sighed. Maybe it would better if I explained what is happening to this galaxy. XXXXX. Do you finally get it? Obi-Wan said in an irritated tone. Yes, I think I do. Sasuke mumbled. Obi-Wan had a hard time in getting Sasuke to believe that there were such things as laser guns. So that is what your sword is made out of? Sasuke said as Obi-Wan released his lightsaber. Yup. Obi-Wan replied. Then why are they different colors? It's different because of the crystal that is put inside. I see, so I take it black and blue are most common. Let me list the colors from most common to the rarest. Green is the most common because it is given to the Padawans, which are Jedi in training. Next is blue and is the standard choice of most Jedi Masters. Red is after blue and is given to the small number of Sith Lords. The next colors are purple, orange, and yellow, which is given to both sides because they found them and liked them. After those comes the rare white, which is thought to be used by elite Jedi back in the day. Finally comes the, thought to be extinct, black crystal which is thought to be used by the elite dark side wielders. So Naruto has the thought to be extinct black crystal. Interesting. Naruto also has a white crystal, but there's some known Jedi that have those including Yoda, but he insists on using his trusty green crystal. But, back to the main focus here. Tell me of some of Naruto's adventures, Sasuke said, as he wanted to get on topic. As you wish, Obi-Wan said as he thought of which of the many missions that Naruto went on that was either against or with the Republic. XXXXX. A group of 6 flew through the sky of the capital planet of the Republic. 2 were droid commandos while another was a mercenary that was hired for the job. Another mercenary was also sitting in front with the first and his name was Cad Bane, a ruthless bounty hunter that has earned a reputation as one of the most dangerous bounty hunters. Sitting in the back with the 2 commando droids was a man with a white cloak and a straw hat with a gas mask underneath that had his arms crossed. As they approached the Senate building in their ship, Bane turned to the druids. You go, Bane ordered. The 2 droids nodded and hid underneath the inside of the ship and out of sight. As soon as they hit the side of the building, Bane again turned to the back of the ship. You follow me. Bane then stood and jumped out of the ship, which was imitated by the cloaked man. Put up your hands, ordered a Senate guard as 5 other troopers walked up behind him. I got business with the Senate. How about you fellas step aside, Bane said as he lifted his hat. I ask again, raise your hands. Slowly, the troopers said. Bane did just that while the cloaked man simply kept his arms to his sides. You too. Raise your hands or we will be forced to shoot, the troopers ordered as the other troopers pulled up their weapons and aimed at the 2 men. Son, I wouldn't be so hasty towards my friend or me for that matter, Bane said with a smile as a red blast shot over their heads and into his face. Where is that coming from? One trooper shouted. I see the shooter up in the, a trooper started, but was cut off when a blast smashed into his face. There were 3 troopers left and one was tackled by Bane while the other 2 tried to run back into the building. One was quickly sniped down, but the other had a black beam coming out of him. Naruto. The trooper goggled out before dropping dead on the floor. Naruto quickly retracted his lightsaber and walked back over to Bane. Bane had already signaled for the sniper to come back over and was now standing over a dead body that a C. Droid, short for Commando Droid, was currently checking out. As soon as he touched the uniform, a voice broke over the wrist communicator. Base to platform, what was all that? Report, a trooper's voice said over the intercom. The C. Droid looked at Bane who nodded to the droid. Protesters against the war. We've taken care of them, the droid said as the 2 assassin droids, the sniper, and the engineer walked up to the group. Finish putting on those uniforms and clearing this platform. Everybody else, follow me, Bane said as everyone except the 2C. Droids and the 1A. Droid, assassin droid, that stayed in the ship. XXXXX. The group of 7 slowly walked down the hallway towards the motherboard of the building with the 2A. Droids in front. They turned a corner and saw a Senate guard standing in front of the room. 2 laser pointers were on him in an instant and said trooper was gunned down in the blink on an eye as well as the droids inside the room. Bane and the engineer walked into the room. You know what to do, Bane said to the engineer. I'll figure it out, the small little creature said. You better not fail me, Bane said with venom. Don't worry, I'll have the power down in no time, the little creature insisted as he returned to the keyboard. The rest of you come with me, Bane said as he walked past everyone and towards the objective. The group moved down the hall with amazing silence as they wove their way through the complex that was the Senate building. Soon they came to a halt at the end of a hallway. Bane looked around the corner to see 10 Senate guards marching into a room. Bane turns to Naruto. You or me? Bane asked as Naruto simply walked past him and towards the door the troopers entered. And that's why I paid him to tag along, Bane said with a grin as Naruto held up a single hand sign and just like that, another Naruto appeared. Bane soon followed while the others stayed behind the wall because they had no idea what was going on. One Naruto walked into the room while the real Naruto continued to walk past the door. As soon as the fake Naruto entered the room, the door behind him closed while Bane tilted his hat and continued to walk with Naruto. On the inside of the room, the 10 troopers turned to see Naruto walking into the center of the room. Who are you? A trooper ordered. Your death, the fake Naruto said before exploding and killing all inside the room. Bane turned with Naruto standing next to him. Now, let's go talk to some senators, Bane said as they continued to walk towards the objective. XXXXX. We cannot allow the counselor to move this enhanced privacy invasion bill forward, Senator Organa said. Then we are all in agreement then, another senator said as more gathered inside the room to see what was to happen with the new bill, including Senator Tucci. It has been almost 2 days after the incident on Naboo where Naruto accompanied the droids in the taking of Naboo. As soon as those words left his mouth, the door behind him opened to reveal a Duros and a cloaked man walking through the door. Morning, senators. You should all consider yourselves to be under my power. As long as everyone does what I say, then this whole ordeal should be quick and painless. Do not move and this will all be over soon, Bane said as more people started walk out of the other doors. I don't know who you think you are, but I for one have no intentions of listening to this kind of insolence, a senator said as he walked past Bane. Bane sighed and shot the poor senator in the back without even looking his way. This got shocked responses from the other senators in the room. Alright then, if you would all just move to the center of this lovely atrium, then my co-workers and I would gladly relieve you of any communication devices, Bane said as the one of the assassins and an droid walked towards the group. I see 6 of them here in the room, if we, Padme whispered to Senator Organa, but was cut off before she could finish. What are you going to do? It's not like we carry weapons, Senator Organa whispered back while Padme looked to the ground. Why did I pick up Anakin's lightsaber? Padme thought as she cursed herself for her lack of thought at the time as Bane began to walk past the first of the senators. Hand over your communication devices please, Bane said as he walked down the line. I can't let them search me, Padme whispered. What? Why not? Organa asked. I have something they must not find. Padme whispered. What is it? Organa asked. Yes, what is it? A white-cloaked man asked from behind them. Startled, the 2 senators turned to see Naruto with his gas mask off and as well as his hat, but with his scarf pulled up. It's nothing, Padme said as she pushed the lightsaber further into her sleeves of her shirt. Naruto glanced down at her sleeves with his golden eyes and put a hand on where the 2 hands met. Oh, I think it's something, Naruto said as the sleeve of his cloak covered up hers. Naruto leaned over next to her ear. Now hand it over before I notify Bane and everyone else in this room of what you got, Naruto whispered as he felt Padme release her grip on the object. Naruto immediately knew what the object was as it was now hidden inside his sleeve. A lightsaber. Why would she have a lightsaber? She's not a Jedi, that's for sure. I know that a Jedi's life is his lightsaber, so the only logical reason is, Naruto thought as he looked up at the second balcony overhanging the area. Naruto had a huge grin plastered on his face. Bane was walking towards them when he noticed that Naruto was looking up at the second floor and also looked up there as well. Bane immediately began to fire at the Jedi in hiding. The Jedi slipped away as everyone was now on alert. Skywalker. After him. Bane shouted as one of the bounty hunters and an droid ran off in search of Anakin. Bane then turned to Naruto. What was it you found? Bane asked. I'll tell you later, Naruto replied as he saw Padme's eyes widen, which made Naruto grin as well as Bane. It seemed like hours when 2 of the 6 bounty hunters went off in search of Anakin. Bane and Naruto were standing off a little ways in order to talk. You do know that they don't stand a chance against a Jedi, do you? Naruto said as they waited for the others to come back. Yes, I know, Bane said. Then what do you plan for them to do? Naruto asked. Experiments, Bane replied. I see, Naruto said as one of the bounty hunters walked in holding a droid's head. What happened? Where's the droid? Bane asked. The droid's gone, but there's good news. The Jedi is unarmed, the mercenary said. What? Bane asked. It doesn't look like he has his lightsaber, the mercenary said with a grin as Bane turned to T-Sniper. Go. Bring him back to me, Bane ordered as the sniper and the first mercenary ran off into the door. Bane turned to Naruto and they began to talk in whispers. Padme then began to whisper to Organa. You know that thing that Naruto took? Padme whispered. Yes, I remember it. Why? Organa replied. That was the Jedi's lightsaber. What? Why did you have the lightsaber? Organa asked a little too loudly. The question is, how are we going to get it back and use it against them? Padme whispered, but was then stopped when several bullets were fired into the air courteous of Bane. Everybody quiet. I've got a call to make, Bane said as he presses a button on his wrist device. Bane was soon talking to the counselor about the exchange when the 2 bounty hunters arrived with Anakin's limp body. They dragged him in front of Naruto and Bane and dropped him there. Bane got off the comlink with the counselor and walked over to the unconscious Jedi followed by Naruto. Young Skywalker, not so impressive without your lightsaber, are you Jedi? Bane said. And here I thought you were better than this. Taken down by an amateur bunch of bounty hunters save for Bane and the sniper. I expected better from you, Naruto said with disgust. Take him away. Throw him in with the oaths, Bane ordered as the two bounty hunters walked Anakin into the bunch of senators. Padme immediately went to his aid, which many ignored except for Naruto. Interesting, Naruto thought as Bane radioed into the A droid that was picking up the package. Mission status. Bane asked the droid over his wrist comm. Arriving at the prison now, the A droid replied as Bane turned to the mercenaries. Go and get the parting gift, Bane said with a grin as the other mercenaries got to work. Once done, everyone rallied on Bane. We need to get to the rendezvous point. Is everything ready? Bane asked to the engineer. Yes, he replied. Turn on the field. If you so much as to breath into one of these lasers, then the whole room will blow up. Senators, Jedi, I bid all a most respectful farewell. Let's go, Bane said as everyone except for Naruto walked out of the room. As soon as they walked out of the room, Naruto knew what was going to happen. Why did you do it? Padme immediately screamed at Naruto, who stared at them blankly. I thought you were the type of person to always look for the peaceful ways, but I guess I was wrong, Senator Chuchi said. I don't think you guys get it, Naruto said. Get what? Padme shouted. Bane was hired by someone to do this mission and then I was hired by him. They're wise, I'm under obligation to follow his orders, not anyone else's. I have worked with Bane before and he is the type to hurt people before leaving in peace, so I suggest getting that weakling up and getting out of here, Naruto said emotionlessly. And how are we going to do that when you have our only weapon? Padme asked. Naruto then threw the lightsaber over the lasers and landing on Anakin's head, making him stir. Now get out before you all die, Naruto said as he walked out the same door as Bane and the others left through while also putting on his now unsealed hat. XXXXX. Naruto just walked outside when Bane had a hologram of the counselor up in his hand. You were foolish to think you could get away with this, bounty hunter. Now lay down your arms and come quietly, the image said as the line of clone troopers readied themselves for the response. No, counselor. I'm afraid it has been you who has been foolish with the senators' lives. If you oppose us now, the entire East Wing goes up in smoke, Bane said. You win, bounty hunter, the counselor said with venom as Bane ridded himself of the projector and looked at the clone troopers. Stand down, Bane ordered. It took them a second to reply, but eventually they complied and lowered their weapons. The group began to walk forward towards them. They soon walked past the group of clones and towards the awaiting ship to pick him up. Everyone piled on with Bane and Naruto simply standing on the back. They were soon a good distance away from the Senate building when Bane turned to Hut. Well, Hut, it doesn't look like prison had any adverse effects on you, Bane said. Oh, you can't imagine the unspeakable things saw. The horror. I doubt I ever really recover. The Hut said as Naruto and Bane rolled their eyes at the stupidity of the slug. Well, how about some dead senators as payback? Bane said with a grin as he pressed a button on his wrist device. In the background, they could see an enormous explosion erupting from the top of the building. Congratulations on a job well done, bounty hunters, Hut said towards Bane and Naruto. This caused both of them to turn around and look at the slug. Time to pay up, Hut. We don't work for free, Bane and Naruto said in unison. This caused Hut to look to the side as he worried what this might cost him. XXXXX. A group of senators and a lone Jedi stood coughing from beneath a makeshift escape route courteous of freshly cut floor. A certain pair stood across from each other as they talked. Another narrow escape, Master Jedi, Padme said. I do my best, Senator, Anakin said as he bowed, but was surprised when Padme leaned over to his ear. We've got a problem. I think Naruto may know of our secret, Padme whispered. Anakin's eyes widened as only one thought ran through his mind. Shit. XXXXX. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.